I'm Megan Smith.
And I'm Charlotte Donaldson.
And we're from Hants, Rural High.
Our board works to immobilize adults and children, whereas a standard spinal board only immobilizes adults. We did this by adding ridges to the sides so the straps can move up and down and immobilize any size person.
We also added foam to the front of it to sort of act as a suction cup, especially once it's wet. It helps hold the victim in place. And also because the victim will be on this board for an extremely long time, and quite often spinal victims develop pressure sores. So the foam helps eliminate some of the pressure sore development. We actually came up with the idea when we were taking our national lifeguarding certification. We had a girl in our class who was actually quite short, and whenever we used her as a victim on the spinal board, she slid right out of the head packs, and we thought, well, if a young adult who's a little bit smaller than standard size isn't being adequately immobilized, what would a child possibly do on that board? We have a patent filed for this design, and we are really hoping that we're going to be able to either market or just give this idea to a QAM or one of the other companies that produces life-saving and medical equipment, and we're really hoping that they'll actually be able to integrate this design into what they currently use for their spinal boards.
We get a lot of positive feedback. A lot of people say, oh, that's a really cool idea. It's really simple. Why hasn't anybody done that before? And we've talked to a lot of firefighters and EMTs, and they told us ways that we could possibly make the board better.
We've also had people who have been in spinal injury accidents or who have had suspected spinal injuries who have been on a spinal board, and they look at it and say, oh man, that does look so much more effective or more comfortable even than the board that we were put on.
I've always been interested in science, how things work, not so much like the weather and that kind of thing, but just how things are put together and how they work. It's really neat.
My project's called the Lateral Balance System, and it's a system that I invented that would help to prevent vehicles from rolling over or losing control while they turn. It works using pneumatic pressure and air springs on the vehicle. Right now what's used mostly is something called a sway bar, and it's limited to some extent and they can wear out and break quickly, so I'm trying to find a better solution that will last longer. I really love vehicles and everything to do with wheels, basically. I started to develop an interest in science and engineering when I was just a little kid because my dad works and fixes up cars to put them back on the road, so I wanted to be like him someday. I had contact with a senior project engineer at General Motors Canada, and he had a lot of encouragement and advice for me. The lateral balance system, I'm continuously working on it, so once it's developed, I think it could help save lives. I've always got ideas in my head, so just trying to fine-tune them and hopefully they'll work.